Hey guys, Mark here. In this video, I'm going to be going over how to make FU money with branded dropshipping. And before I tell you exactly how we're going to do that, let me tell you what we're not going to do. So what we're not going to do is look for some unsaturated product that's never been tested. We're not going to go and steal people's content, and we're not going to build a basic, niche or one product store that is not designed to maximize your average order value and your conversion rate. Instead, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go and look out specifically for a product that is quote unquote saturated. I don't like using the term saturated. I think it's a term invented by gurus. So I like to use the term validated, but we'll use saturated anyway. So what we're looking for really is to find a product that is what most people would call saturated. And the way that I define this is specifically 300,000 to 500,000 visitors per month to their website, because that's how you know they're spending a reasonable amount on ads, to where I consider they're typically doing around at least like 200 or 300K per month in monthly revenue. So what we're going to do is find a saturated product, but we're not going to sell it the same way as everybody else. We're going to find a saturated product and then sell it using an unsaturated angle. And if you don't know what a angle is, the best way to think about angles is simply a different way to sell your product to a slightly different group of people. If you think about why people buy a product, not everybody buys it for the same reason. For example, if you are going to buy an iPhone, some people buy an iPhone because they want to fit in. Other people buy an iPhone just because they don't want to be somebody who has that green text bubble and uses an Android. Other people buy iPhone because it's just the most convenient phone option out there. So everybody's kind of buying for a different reason. And we're going to take that same logic and apply it here so that we can start making that FU money. So let me actually show you how to find the saturated products and then how to create the unsaturated angles. So one of my favorite ways to actually find products that are proven to sell is to open up an incognito tab and go to weather.com. And after you get to weather.com, what you're going to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom to the point where you see sponsored content. And these are what's called native ads. These are ads being shown to, as you can tell, very, very cold audiences. They have no idea who you are, and typically the click-through rates are very low. However, the CPMs are also very low. And so the first ad that kind of caught my eye here is this ad right here. And this is obviously a flexible shoe, barefoot shoe type product. And so I opened this store up here, and of course I'm going to be wondering, okay, how much revenue are they actually doing? How many visitors are they driving to this particular landing page? So I'm going to go back to my main browser here, pop it open, and I'm actually going to use a similar web extension to see how many visitors are driving per month. And as you can see, they're doing a good amount of volume. These guys are doing over 500,000 visits every single month. So we can check that box and say, okay, this product actually is validated. It is what people call saturated. So we got half of the equation already. Now what we need to do is sell this product using an unsaturated angle. And so if you look at this particular product, the question that I'm really trying to ask is, what is the main angle that these guys are selling with? And to be honest with you, one of the first things that I really saw here with this particular lander, this was actually the first lander that I saw. And what I see is orthopedics and neurologists amazed. These barefoot shoes help Americans lose weight and live a pain-free life, right? And so immediately I can tell which angle they're trying to sell this with, which is the weight loss angle and then the pain-free angle. But mostly it's going to be about the weight loss. In fact, when I was doing a little bit of research for making this video, this was the first advertorial page that I really saw. And because of that, the lose weight angle seems to be the main reason that people are actually purchasing this product. And so the question that I'm creating in my mind is, what is another way that I can sell this product to this group of people without using the weight loss angle? And so what we're actually going to do is we're going to open Amazon. And what I'm going to do is I want to specifically analyze the reviews that are associated with this particular product. So I'm going to go up to Amazon and simply search barefoot shoes to see what comes up. And what we're really looking for here is, it doesn't have to be a one-to-one of the product. What I'm looking for is a product that generally is kind of solving like that same problem. It's a barefoot shoe, but I want to look for the one that has the most amount of like solid reviews, right? And the first one that kind of caught my eye is this one right here. You can see there's 1,700 reviews. Obviously this is like the identical product, but there's only 300 reviews. So a lot more reviews here. And now that we have this page kind of pulled open, what you're going to do is click on the reviews and then still scroll all the way down. So we're going to scroll past this and hit see more reviews. Now, at this point, there's two ways you can go about this. You can go about this the manual process and read all the reviews yourself, or we can use AI and technology to our advantage. So I actually have this extension installed up here that just exports all the reviews from Amazon. I'm not affiliated with this company in any way, but it is pretty handy for exporting reviews in a mass way. So after this process is done, you can see it's already downloaded 30 different reviews. I'm gonna go all the way to 100. This is like a $3 extension. So in my mind, it's pretty worth it in terms of the time that you save with it. So as it's scrolling through all these reviews, as soon as I have that export file, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna upload it into ChatGPT and we're gonna cross-analyze what is it about this particular product that people are buying it for? What types of people are really buying this product? And I'm gonna move away from the weight loss angle and try to tap into a new angle, a new way to sell this exact same product. So let's go over to ChatGPT right here. We got a new conversation pulled up. I'm not gonna waste your time, showing exactly what I'm writing here. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. So I'm just gonna write a quick prompt to help ChatGPT break down the other angles that I can potentially tap into with this particular product. So I finished going through ChatGPT and I actually found one main angle that wasn't really tapped into with the previous product, and that is neuropathy. And neuropathy is a pain associated with your feet that is caused by nerves. And so this is an angle that we can actually tap into to sell this product. We're gonna go after specifically foot pain, but neuropathy specifically. This is absolutely a winning angle just based off of the other people in this particular industry that are selling with this angle. I know this to be a proven one. So if we go back to our board here, we now have that product that is proven. It's validated, it's saturated, and we have this new angle, this new way of selling it. And so at this point, we're about halfway done, right? You have the product, you have the angle. Now the only question is, of course, how are you actually going to sell that product? And so one of the main things that I've learned throughout my dropshipping journey is that if you want to have what 99% of people have, you do what 99% of people do. And if 99% of people are kind of running the same structure, meaning they'll have like an ad, let's say on Facebook or TikTok, then they'll drive that traffic to a standard product page built on Shopify. Then they'll go to the checkout page. And as soon as they hit the checkout page, they will land on the thank you page. Now, this is kind of like the standard Shopify checkout process. Now, the problems with this particular method are a few fold. Number one, typically you'll have a pretty low conversion rate, right? Low CVR. And the reason why is because as soon as people get off the ad, they're immediately kind of slapped across the face with an offer, just like buy, 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 buy. And in terms of developing a relationship with your customer, that's obviously not very good. What I like to do is actually build out traditional direct response style funnels, all right? I call it funnel scaling. And so the difference between this funnel and funnel scaling is, like I said, you typically have a low CVR and what I call a low AOV, right? A low average order value. And so the problem with this funnel is simply that it's really not built to sell, right? As soon as people get off of seeing an ad on Facebook or TikTok, they are immediately just slapped in the face with an offer, right? That's basically the equivalent of going on a date with a woman that you've never met before in your entire life. And as soon as you see her, the very first words out of your mouth are, hey, I'm Mark, do you want to go back to my place? Obviously, that's not going to be a very effective method. I want you to think of business in the same way. You're developing a relationship with your customers. And your funnel, like this process right here, should really reflect that. And so instead of running a funnel like this, we're going to do something a little bit differently, right? We're still going to have that same ad on Facebook or TikTok, wherever you're running traffic, but instead of going to a product page, we're actually going to go to something called a pre-sales page, such as an advertorial page. And the advertorial page, its job is basically to sell the product in a way that is non-invasive. Sell the product in a way that's almost hiding the sales process a little bit. It's positioned basically as an article that's written by a third party just promoting your product. And typically, just by the addition of this step alone, you can have a significant increase in your conversion rate and in your average order value. And so after the advertorial, instead of going to like a standard Shopify product page, we're going to go to a sales page. And the difference is a sales page is all about actually selling the outcomes of the product, not focusing so much on the product itself. So you can have a lot more customization, a lot higher average order value because you can bundle products together. And on Shopify, typically you can struggle to do that with a standard Shopify product page. And then of course, after the sales page, we're going to go to an additional page where people can actually purchase. All right. And that's going to be called the order page. Now, on this order page, we're going to have quantity discounts. We're going to have order bumps. We're going to have other types of upsells. We're going to have social proof. And so the conversion rate because of this page is going to increase. And with all these AOV boosters that I mentioned right here, it's also going to cause an increase in your average order value. And so this point right here is actually the point that people have paid, right? You have their credit card information, they've paid to buy your product. And what most people do, especially with this structure right here, they stop. As soon as they collect the payment information, they stop. But what if I told you that the step directly after you actually capture payment has the highest potential for increasing your AOV out of any step in your entire funnel? So instead of sending people from the order page who actually go through and purchase, instead of sending them to like a basic thank you page, what we're gonna do is send them to an OTO, right? That stands for one-time offer. It's a way to say a post-purchase upsell. And so on this OTO, we're actually going to get another offer in front of your customers. One of the biggest mistakes that I see entrepreneurs make when they're getting into e-commerce, they're getting into dropshipping, is they view the funnel so one-dimensionally. It's like as soon as you get them to buy a product, they're just gone. Poof, you never get their money again. But once you realize that right here, there's the most amount of power in your entire funnel, then you can put another offer in front of their face for an additional product, a complementary product. And oftentimes you can add so much to your average order value just with this step alone. And let's say that for whatever reason, people say, no, this offer is not for me. Well, as soon as they say no, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna hit them with a downsell offer for this particular product that we were selling here for, let's say, 50% off. So even if they say no, they're still gonna be hit with the downsell, right here, which is also gonna be, more money for your average order value. And the cool part is you can rinse and repeat this process. Upsell, downsell, upsell, downsell. Let's say we just have one, and after that we send them directly to the thank you page. Now, I know my scribbling is pretty messy here, but when you go through this process of actually building a real funnel, a direct response style funnel, what you'll see is typically an increase in your average order value and an increase in your conversion rate. Now, you see an increase in the AOV because you have all these other upsells and offers post-purchase, along with really well-structured upsells on your order page and bundles on your sales page. Now, another reason that you'll typically see an increase in the conversion rate is simply because of a fundamental rule in marketing. The more content and the more time that you can get people to consume with your brand, the more likely they are to spend more money with you. So notice, let's say people on average, they spend 3 minutes on the advertorial page. Then they're gonna go to the sales page. They're gonna spend maybe 2 minutes there and maybe another 2 minutes on the actual order page. We're now up to 7 minutes that the customer has spent with us. Whereas over here, maybe, just maybe, you'll get them to spend 3 minutes on the product page here, maybe 1 or 2 minutes on this page, and all of a sudden they're done, right? This is the thank you page. There's no more time for them to spend. And over here, you have 7+ minutes of consumption. Again, the more that you can get them to consume, the better. And that's not even including the ad. Like, let's say you have a 4-minute ad. On average, your customers are watching 2 minutes of that ad, right? Now you're up to 9 minutes of consumption. So people are so much more emotionally bought in with your brand that if you position an upsell in the right way post-purchase, you can add a significant amount in your AOV. I have something that I tell to my clients all the time, which is that let's say you're selling a product, right? Your product price is equal to $40 and your AOV is equal to something, right? I'm gonna get to that in a second. Now, if your product price is 40, I know everything about your business that I need to know based off of the difference between your product price and your AOV. So for example, if your AOV is $40, which, let's be real, most people, their AOV is just equal to their product price, then I know that you're never gonna be able to scale as successfully as you want, because you're not gonna be able to compete with the rising ad costs. One universal law of scaling on paid ads is that the more money that you spend, the higher your CPA is, AKA the more expensive ads really get. And the cool part about this method that I'm teaching you guys right now is that you can have an AOV that is significantly higher than your product price. So instead of having an AOV be 40, which is the same as your product price, let's say you have an AOV now of 90. So for the same exact cost to acquire a customer, like let's say your CPA was like $25. So instead of just having this $15 margin right here, all of a sudden your margins become so much better because you're competing on the funnel and you're competing on something like economics, right? Where you can just scale, you can spend so much more money on ads because your AOV is so much higher than all your competitors. This is the concept of competing on having a really good funnel and testing and scaling a product that is proven, but with an unsaturated angle. And so if I were to literally start from scratch, this is the exact model that I would use. This is scalable and this is profitable, right? So once again, just to recap for you guys, we want to go after a product that we know is already proven to sell. And once we have that box checked, we're looking to sell that product with a new angle, an angle that the competitors are not using, but based on data, we know that people are still buying the product for this specific reason. And once we have the product and the angle, we know how we're going to sell it. What we're going to do is construct a very well put together funnel. And by the way, if you're wondering, Mark, how do I put together a funnel structure like this? You can use a software called Funnelish if you're just starting out. That's what we use. And then if you're really good at scaling and you're doing a little bit more volume, I would recommend a software called Checkout Champ. Those two are the most robust top-down funnel builders that you can have. Again, this is the process that I would use if I really wanted to make FU money, because the cool thing is the more money you spend on ads, even if your ads get more expensive, you're still so profitable and you have so much margin to work with that it doesn't matter. You can still scale ads aggressively as you want. And so this is actually like the entire process that we teach start to finish within our program called Brand Builders Academy. So this is my mentorship program that I own with Alex Fedotov. And so we actually teach you how to find these products, how to come up with the angles, how to do what we call problem research instead of product research. And so if you're interested in someone like kind of holding your hand throughout the whole process of building a store, finding products from scratch, just click the first link in the description and you can apply for Brand Builders Academy. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.